What up? This is Jarrett.
This is Keels.
Back at again with another episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. We're approaching the end of Season 2. And this week we had Procrastination and I'm with Stupid.
Yeah.
Two classics. Alright, so Procrastination, as the title hints, SpongeBob is given the assignment by Mrs. Puff to write an 800-word essay on what not to do at a stoplight. So SpongeBob, as eager as he is so hyped, he finally gets home, and as the title suggests, he is procrastinating. I'm trying to think, Keels, in order. Like, he cleans
the
his
stuff
kitchen.
that he does.
Yeah.
I think first he breaks his pencil, then he sharpens it.
He got a whole bunch of pencils, yep.
Then he fed Gary.
No. Then he looked, because I remember this. He looked outside, like, how could somebody work on a beautiful day like today?
Oh, he did a whole bunch of stuff.
Did exercises to prep up.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
to get the noodle or his brain muscles going.
Yeah.
Then he fed Gary.
Then he cleaned the whole kitchen till it was like spotless chrome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, he realized it was 10 o'clock. So from 3 to 10, he was doing all this. And then he calls Patrick and is just how you doing today? Like, it's just...
Man, I can relate to that, though. I can definitely relate to that.
So, as I was going to say, whether it's through college, high school, elementary school.
Ooh, especially high school.
Yeah, procrastinating.
Man.
It's common.
Paper due in the morning. I'm up all night trying to finish it. Oh, my God. I don't miss those days.
See, what do you think is the one assignment that you remember, procrastinating the, worst on? I could tell you mine.
I forget what class it was, but it was like a 3-page paper. And I was someone who, I was always good at English and language arts and stuff, but actually writing a paper, I was terrible at because I procrastinated. So it was like a 3-page paper and I was literally up all night. Had maybe 3 hours of sleep, had to get up super early to finish, and find somebody to print it that morning. You know what I mean?
Go to the light. Oh, man. If you didn't have it printed, the source has to be in MLA format. Yeah. Double spaced.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that was before citation machines and all that stuff. So you had to know how to do it on your own.
You just had to learn. Oh, man.
And then
PTSD right now with it.
Yeah, bro. And then back when we had I had AOL. I always had AOL. So
I still use mine.
So I emailed one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, can you print my paper for me?" So I'm trying to find somebody to print my paper before we get to school and stuff. And thankfully, I found somebody. So, man, I do not miss that.
Right. Well,
I miss my childhood, but I don't miss the school aspect.
I think for me, for sure.
Or the schoolwork.
Yeah. And see, I was going to actually mention this, and I'll tie it back to it at the end, but there was this one assignment that I remember. This was during community college, and it was my last year, too, before transferring, and it was a history paper, and I just did not want to do it. Finals were coming up, I'm just look, if there's one class, and I was pretty good, but I was if there's one class, I'm pretty sure I could just fudge and say whatever.
Yeah.
It was my history class. I was I'm pretty good. So, you know what I did?
Pure dates and facts and stuff.
No, I remember the assignment was you could choose whatever you want to write about. So I was World War II. That's the easiest thing to write about.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that happened. Yeah. But I remember this. So back in high school, I did a paper that was based on World War II. And I just took some elements from that. Yup, I took some elements from that.
So you plagiarized your own self?
And then I said, let me just fill in the gaps here with a couple paragraphs. Here's my 5-page.
75% plagiarized.
It's my own work, though.
Nah, they did.
I know, they wouldn't care.
I remember when they first told us that, people did not understand that.
Yep.
People did not understand that. It was like, if it's your own work, you have to cite it.
Cite it, yeah.
We were like, what?
No, and that's the crazy thing, because you could obviously, even if you reformat words, like, it's kind of harsh, and I put it to the test with this episode. So SpongeBob was asked to write a paragraph, to write an assignment where it's 800 words. I asked Chat, obviously the talk is AI. Like, it's actually going to be interesting. Like, I've interviewed a couple of students where it's just like, well, how do you use AI for your assignments and everything? The world is so different now, and you're actually just finishing school. So
and
how
sometimes I feel lost.
So does the teacher how do they even check it? Because if Chad can just write it.
So in my hip hop class, the professor put an announcement. He was like, hey, for some of these discussions, you can feel free to use AI. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's hip hop facts about a rapper or something like that, or a hip hop movie or a song or whatever. So I think the trick is to just don't copy and paste it. You know what I mean? You read what you read, you know what I mean? And then you just write it in your own words. Which is not a hard concept. I don't understand how people be getting knocked on plagiarism and stuff like that. It is not a hard concept. It's all
writing citation, make sure your citations are correct, make sure it's in your own words. Yeah. And see, and that's the thing, man, to write, it's just, maybe it's also because I've used AI so much, I'm at a point now where it's writing is really tough, but I did ask Chat, the assignment that Mrs. Puff gave SpongeBob, and here's what it spit out. It literally gave it in 800 words. It broke it up in sections. I'm not going to go read the entire essay, but section 1, do not panic. Section 2, do not mistake red for green. And it's with all of these, it's look at this.
That's funny.
Yeah, section 3, do not get distracted by jellyfish. Section 4, do not hold a Krabby Patty taste test.
It's those unnecessary papers that we had to do.
Exactly.
And I do not miss, and I would have wrote a paper just like that.
Just like this. 800 words, don't annoy Squidward. I'm just baffled at the fact that it literally did the assignment.
How many examples did they put? 10?
I think it's, 10, because the conclusion. So 9 plus the conclusion. That's another thing, too, in your essays, you got to make sure you have the opening statement and conclusion that ties everything back. Reiterate it, using your quotes in the right manner. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you. I'm happy I don't have to do it anymore, but
oh, my God.
My goodness.
That's funny.
So, all right. Now that we went on that, I'll also say this before we get into our usual 3 of favorite joke, what we would change, and also the meme. There's a deleted scene through airing. So when SpongeBob looks outside of the window and it's that matte, how it doesn't look like Bikini Bottom. Uh-huh. And even the car accident thing where it's the live action footage. So that where Patrick's like, come on, SpongeBob. Uh-huh. And him doing the muscle extra, all deleted in rebroadcast. As for why, I don't know.
Time, maybe?
So I've heard a couple things. Some people say that when he does the Hup 2 on the nose, it looks suggestive. I don't think that they deleted it for that because they would have just taken out that section, but the entire chunk is. I think it's just because of time. Episodes are usually 11 minutes. I'm sure this one bled into, they procrastinated on the time. But
probably.
But favorite joke, Keels?
Favorite joke, definitely, when he's doing all the theatrics with the pencil. He's like, yes, I'm doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing it. And all he has is the written in a fancy font.
It was a nice looking the.
It was.
Considering it took him an hour, but yeah.
He's having a dream or a nightmare or whatever, and he lost his pants. And then the pants were the pants were like, freedom.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. And then he burned his house down after falling asleep. This is in the dream. And the house is like, why? Why, SpongeBob?
Why did you set me on fire,
Why did you set me on fire?
Oh, man. Stop wasting time.
Oh my god, that's funny. Oh man, so those are my favorite jokes.
Nice. So I did have the real life footage of the car accident because SpongeBob was like, "I'm one step closer to getting my license," and it's just this NASCAR footage, and the car just crashes. But best sequence to that point, Keels. That dream sequence is just
hilarious.
It's so over the top, and I think part of me thinks that the dream starts when he calls Patrick. Because there's no way he could have known, like, oh, yeah, but the mailman was a big giveaway where it's just like, don't you have to, like, he opens the door, and mail delivery at night, like, I'm just like,
exactly.
This ain't Amazon.
Exactly.
Yo. This might be tough, but meme-worthy.
It's the font.
You have that as yours, too, yeah. I was really, like, searching and really looking back, and... I've definitely seen where it's like, okay, like when you're really writing something and then it's just like, that's it.
Man.
But for sure, and then what would you change?
I wouldn't change anything.
Nothing? I would say this. I feel like, so the ending of the episode is that Mrs. Puff cancels the assignment because after SpongeBob puts in all that work... And, you know, I think he had 5 minutes to get to class. And he somehow was able to write the 800-word essay in under 5 minutes, plus successfully get to boating school by foot in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, I would have been like,
no way.
I would have, I just would have added an extra hour.
Hey, man.
I know that the concept of time in a cartoon doesn't really matter, but I would have been like...
Hey, sometimes you got to get that John done, man.
Yeah, look.
That last 30 minutes.
He did it.
You like...
And that is why it is that. The end.
The end.
The end.
Bon appetit.
Oh.
Just adding stuff at the end.
That's what I'm saying. Some random stuff.
Yeah.
See, and that's why this episode's so, like, relatable. I think that's the thing. Yeah. You can relate to it on all levels because everybody's been through procrastination before.
Man.
Like, these little side episodes, like, what was it? The last one was peer pressure when it was, like, the land creature versus... Like, I do like these one-take up where it's, like, procrastination. It's like, accurate. Any final thoughts?
No. Classic episode.
All right, now, this is the real meat right here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with stupid. Now, I think we both collectively, like, agreed that this could potentially be in the top, like, 10 when we get to, like, favorite episodes.
Man.
But Patrick is trying to impress his parents who are... He's basically like, oh, we're on our way to visit you. And this is the first time that he's seen him in a while. We're under that impression. So, Patrick, because we all know him as a character, is very, very, very dumb. I just had to add, like, very. So, he's like, oh, I gotta make a good impression. SpongeBob, being the good friend he is, like, hey, I'll pretend to be a dummy so that you look better. Patrick takes up the opportunity and is like, yeah, okay. Even before then, he's like, but don't geniuses live in a lamp? I'm like, my goodness.
Yo, that line was hilarious.
Him singing his ABCs in the mirror. ABC. Yo,
this episode is hilarious.
And that's another thing, too. I think it's like a gold standard of, like, Starfish and Bikini Bottom they're just dumb. I mean, so he meets the parents. SpongeBob comes in with his karate chopping helmet, which, also, like, some people might get... I got that joke, because, it's like the cliche. It's not a very good dated joke, but... Man. The fact that they took it to that, like, wearing a helmet, I'm like, oh, okay, wow, all right.
Interesting choice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's like 20, 30 years.
Bro, that's crazy. TV's not like that no more.
I know, you can't get away with that anymore. And I'm like, wow, they legit gave him a helmet. And that was 2001 that this episode came out, so.
I mean, that's the times. That's definitely the times.
For sure. So, Patrick's parents are Janet and Marty.
Yeah.
I should quote quotations on parents. are over here like, making Patrick feel belittled and just like Pats for Patrick. Like,
Yeah, they were babying him because they were babying him because they were just like, wow, he's so stupid. We have to baby this guy.
Exactly. You put the drinks in the cup this time.
Thank you. Wow.
Exactly.
With ice.
With ice.
Hey, that's crazy.
And when they meet SpongeBob, they just pull a 360, and it's like, like, wow, he's really dumber than you, Patrick.
Yeah.
But then Patrick capitalizes on that and says, yeah, he is.
Bruh.
Just call it. Go ahead. Like,
Patrick was not a real homie in this situation.
Nah.
He was not real in this situation.
There's a word for what Patrick is.
Bro, he started talking down on SpongeBob. He's like, oh, he's so stupid. Oh my God. I heard a barrel chested, but not box chested. That's insane.
Yo.
Man.
And just look at his figure. Like, yo. It was, oh man, the I'm with dummy shirt.
Yeah.
Wow, you taught him to read too. And he was capital. He didn't correct them. He did not correct his quote unquote parents.
Bruh.
Easy. See, and that's what I'm talking about. Patrick was an asshole. I'm gonna say
He was.
He was. Like, it's just all he had to do, because when it got to the point where SpongeBob bit him, and then was like, hey, like, we need to have a conversation in the kitchen.
That was hilarious.
Like, he still capitalized on this. And then he took credit. It was like, wow, like, in the 5 minutes you were in the kitchen, you taught him how to speak, read, write, like, and you taught him to sing.
Bruh, the parents were crazy. The parents were talking crazy, too.
Oh, yeah. Janet and Marty.
Yo, they were hilarious.
I mean, when she says to this day, it still puts a smile, it's time for your next lesson, young man. I'm like, yo, she's putting SpongeBob in the corner. He said, now you listen here.
Oh, my God. He's like, you can talk.
Yo, they did not have to gun him and bring him down
they
like that.
They were bringing him all the way down.
I mean, here's the thing.
He was like, wow, Patrick, you are so smart. He was getting pissed.
I think, let me see, yeah. So, what is your favorite joke in this?
Just the parents in general, just the way that the mom talked, just the way that they were talking trash about SpongeBob. And they were talking down on Patrick at first, but like they didn't realize that what's it called? Patrick wasn't their son.
Their son. That's the crazy thing.
Like, I never understood this episode.
So that's where I go to, like, starfish are considered the dumbest creatures in Bikini Bottom. Hands down, the ending is, Patrick's correct parents, which somebody should have been like, hey, like, you're not like that person, I get it.
Yeah.
But they go to Squidward's house, and it's like, oh, do these people belong to you? They've been saying, where's Patrick all day? And then Marty and Janet are like, oh, that's right, we don't have a son. Oh, yeah. And they just walk along with their business.
Crazy.
Now, that for your favorite joke for the parents, I have that in what I would change.
Really?
Because, so if they really wanted to play it where they didn't know, like, obviously establish that, like, starfish are really dumb. When they say Pats for Patrick, that's the first time they use them by first name. So how would they know that that's Patrick without, like, and I said I would just change that and just so...
I would just make it to where like those are his actual parents and then...
Something.
Yeah.
Or if they are the fake parents, it's just like, wow, like, we haven't seen you in so long, you put on weight, like, something like that. Some kind of sentence that makes it go, okay, it makes sense that, like, we're physically looking at you and we are like, you're not that, but to be like, we don't have a son. Oh, yeah.
Or make this like a complete separate episode and it's two situations going on at one time. Patrick's parents are talking to this other guy, this other starfish or whatever. And then now we get to learn more about the starfish community. You know what I mean? That's what I would do.
We know they're dumb. Like
exactly. And then they just switch and then they realize like, oh, you're not Patrick.
For real. Switched at birth over here.
Yeah.
Because the father had a whole mustache. And that's the thing too, like, it's weird. So I don't know. You know that Patrick has his own TV show.
I didn't know that.
Patrick has his own, like, TV show, a spinoff of SpongeBob.
Wow.
And the parents look nothing like the parents in this episode. Like, homeboy has a mustache, the matching, like, lily pad, like, print that Patrick has on his trunks. In the Patrick show, hold on, let me pull this up, like, complete 180. Like, it's just, they don't look like it. So, it would have been nice if they had some kind of sense of continuity. Like, obviously, they didn't know when they were creating that they were going to have, like, a whole show. You see this?
Okay.
You see how different? He has a sister. That's his grandpa.
See,
like,
and I don't like the animation that they use for these new characters.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not saying I mean, they tried with the mustache here.
No way.
They semi-tried, but, like, in the family tree, it's like, it doesn't work. But, yeah, for sure I would change that. Just something where it makes it so you can go back and watch the episode and not be like, wow, like, these starfish are just really dumb.
Right.
So that was favorite joke. I gotta think. For favorite joke, the whole, I don't know. Like, it really was the parents, but the whole premise. Like, the whole premise is hilarious. And again, Gold Star's Patrick moment, like, his one-liners in this, like the genie reference, when even in the beginning where he's like, oh, sweeping, like, you know, like he's over here being frantic and everything. Yeah. Oh, when he has that deep line where he's like, dumb people just don't know who they are until they're exposed, like, and then he just, like, crashes. I don't know. Like, there's not a pinpoint, but it for sure, like, is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then meme-worthy, I know we were kind of struggling with.
Yeah.
I put the dummy shirt. I'm not saying it's much, but
it's definitely
it's
when
a stretch.
It's definitely when Patrick finds out that Marty and
Janet
are not their parents, and he just snaps.
Who are you people?
Who are you people?
Marty, I'm scared.
And that's it. Marty, I'm scared. That is the meme-worthy moment.
Yeah.
That's the meme-worthy moment.
The thing is like, it really took Patrick a whole day to be like, wait a minute.
Yo, he snapped.
Yo, when he heard their first...
Marty!
Like, that's the thing that's crazy. Like, it's not the fact the looks, like, it is
the whole day
first
with
name.
him.
Their first name? That's not my
Spent the entire day with them.
It's insane. Yeah, I mean, for sure, very solid. Any final thoughts?
Nah.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. So be sure to join us. We're almost there. We have 2 more in season 2. We'll do our countdown. And then from that point, season 3. I'm like, the season 3 opener is still the grass is always greener on the other side, like, or the algae or whatever. The Mr. Krabs plankton one. I'm ready, and we're ending off with a bang with the last 2. So stick with us until then. This is Jarrett.
This is Kills.
Another episode of Bikini Bottom Banter in the bag.
Thanks for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. Don't forget to follow Bikini Bottom Banter on TikTok and Instagram for even more content. Subscribe to them on YouTube and Anchor, plus turn on bell notifications to be updated on their latest episode. And if you've got your own jellyfishing stories or favorite SpongeBob moments, remember to share them with us. You might just hear them on our next episode. So until then, stay bubbly, keep smiling, and remember, subscribe to Bikini Bottom Banter to know all the under the sea.